Got up this morning, things weren't working right. I said I wanna make a change, I said I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said, yes, we can. I said I wanna ride your nuts, cause I think you're the man. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding. Dick riding for tomorrow, dick riding for today, dick riding for the straight, dick riding for the gay, dick riding for America, dick riding for rock. It's okay to ride that dick, just as long as it's Barack's, and now we're dick riding.
Boy, the interview that's going to be on Tucker Carlson tonight just gives that song a whole new meaning.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely gives it a whole new meaning, and it, you don't know what, is Obama the top or the bottom? I think that's the biggest question. Is like, I feel, part of me thinks like the bottom, but then then you see how Obama is, and you're like, dang, dude, he might be the top. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to peg that guy.
Probably is. He probably has the security detail standing by. It's probably literally like the like that House of Cards scene, where they rope in the butler guy or whatever, like, hey, I forget, like
the Secret Service guy.
Yeah. Like they rope in the Secret Service guy and just like all of a sudden start going down on him and everything. Jesus Christ.
Well, Malik, the best Obama, he's been saying this for a long time. Like he's been saying it for years on Twitter. Why did anybody doubt him? I don't isn't he? Because he's Barack's cousin, right?
Like I think he's like second cousin or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like legitimately family.
Yeah. I mean, he's not like direct family. I don't think. I think he's like secondary family. Like I said, like a second cousin or something like that.
Right. Like he's not getting invited to the palace in Kenya, but he, whenever they have like the big family reunion barbecue, he gets to go to that.
Yeah. He gets the extended family invites, not the.
Or well, we say that he's probably not been getting any invites.
Yeah.
Like he used to get those invites, and
now they disowned him.
Hey, Clyde showed up. Let him in.
Oh, there we go. There's a Clyde sighting for the day.
I can't hear right now.
Clyde, look, it pains me to say this, but you're like a show favorite for a lot of people. Like when you're not here for long stints of time, I have to answer way too many questions in my own personal life as to where's Clyde and why hasn't he been on the show.
I just picked that up like 5 seconds ago because my speakers were out. So I didn't hear that whole tirade. Suffice to say, I've been trying. For the last month, I've been trying. StreamYard has locked me out. And I think it's just like a conspiracy against me, against us. Like StreamYard has locked me out for the last month and a half, and I haven't been able to get on. So sorry.
What I was saying was you are a show favorite. Like when you are out for extended periods of time like this, I start getting an inordinate amount of questions in my personal life asking where's Clyde and why hasn't he been on the show?
Yes, I'm sure. I believe it.
I'm for real. It's like almost unsettling. Like, is everything all right with Clyde? We haven't seen him in a long time. Is he coming back? Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if he's coming back or not because we keep getting messages on Signal and everything, But that could just be where his wife killed him, and she's just trying to keep up the facade that he's alive. Like, it could be her sending messages from time to time, just so we don't start getting suspicious.
Like to keep the ruse
I think
up.
there's a little too. Yeah, I mean, I think though there's a little too much like homosexuality in the signal chat for it to be coming from a female.
Yeah,
I think it's a little
probably
too gay. You know, I don't know. Maybe not. Too much talk of Asian women, and you know.
Well, I mean, there's a.
Speaking of that.
Oh.
Speaking of that, would we ever consider adding a female co-host to the show?
No, we're too much misogynistic. Remember?
So, I've always, this is for as long as I can like recall. There's very, very few female like musicians, like artists I can get down with, like Janis Joplin, Grace Slick, but they kind of sound like dudes, and I'm thinking maybe that's partly why I'm okay with them. But like female radio DJs, dear Lord, I just I want to slit my throat when they get on. Like I don't know what it is. It's just it like blows my mind. So I don't know if I could do it here or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like my guest list on my own show is fairly restrictive as far as females coming on. Like there are only a couple.
Only if they have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That was only the one time. That was only the one time.
Yeah. All right. Oh, he dropped something. All right. So what are we talking about? Asian females.
Maybe I'll
well, we can't talk about Asian females, but we can talk about, I guess,
Spanish females. What's up, Carlos?
Well, Spanish, maybe Spanish dudes. Some pendejos here,
Who's that guy?
Ex Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio. Enrique Tarrio, sentenced to 22 years in prison for a role in January 6th Capitol riot. He was, as far as I know, he wasn't even there. Like, he wasn't even in the Capitol.
He literally was not in Washington, D.C. He had been arrested 3 days prior and was not even at the Capitol.
But I think what they're saying is he incited because he said, "Hey, you guys go to it," or something. That's what they're trying to say. But like 22 years, holy hell, dude! Like
he got a longer sentence for not even being there than anybody else has gotten so far. Like if that,
I mean, even Jacob Chansley, like they were only going to sentence him to like 17 years, right, or something like that, or it was like it may have been like 10 or it's between like 10 and 17. It wasn't like 20 like this. Like this is like 22 years. Like Jesus Christ, dude.
So it points to this idea that this is totally like a witch hunt, right? This is totally a politically motivated thing. You have this figurehead who, is in charge of the alt-right movement, and this super Nazi that's, turning the tides and making all the white men like, and so we're gonna. But
it's funny, like he's literally a Hispanic man.
He's Mexican. And right. No,
yeah.
Was he even an active? Was he even active with the Proud Boys at the time? Like
I think he stepped down. He stepped down. I'm pretty sure
I don't think he was still in it. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't in a leadership position with the Proud Boys at the time of January 6th. Like, so,
right.
Like, this was just he had former associations with the Proud Boys, and so he's being punished for a group that he associated with at one time because they showed up. Like, they're using this. Go ahead, and I'll get to my point after you talk about it.
No, what were we going to say?
Because
I'm going to go to a different direction.
Even though Trump wasn't at the Capitol, and even though Trump had told people not to go there, not to do this stuff, they're going to use this to say Trump should be given 22 years or longer for his role in it. Hey, take your trash. Quit leaving trash.
Be a life sentence at this point.
I love you.
I mean, 22 years at Trump's age would be a life sentence. He'd be down.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the. I mean, it probably honestly wouldn't even have to be that long. I mean, but
yeah. Do you think he's a Fed? Like if he's in,
Enrique,
right? He's in the Proud Boys, all this stuff, and does that, and then he gets out of it, and then he goes to jail for 22 years. I mean, he's gonna disappear, right? Like it's really easy to disappear inside jail. I would think if you were a Fed and not really go to jail, but just kind of.
I feel like him going to jail. I feel like him going to jail makes him less Fed, like suspect as Fed, because like if
isn't that just I mean, like you don't have to. It's not like Ray Epps where you have like media calling at your door every day. You just kind of, he's in jail. See you guys later. It's like Mark.
No.
Like he goes to jail and just disappears. Nobody knows where he went, and he's back in whatever you call it.
This guy was literally informing to the Feds though.
Yeah, but
that's not
he was having to do that because they were contacting him constantly. I feel like he had to become a Fed because it's not necessarily like he was a Fed, but he had to inform the Feds because everything that they do was scrutinized by the Feds. If that makes sense. Like it wasn't. I don't necessarily think like he.
Or it could just be that every one of these alt-right white supremacist groups is actually just a bunch of Feds, and
I mean, that's possible. That's
especially because, like, you know what? You think about it, right? All these alt-right groups are fomenting this kind of movement against like white men, right? Like it's white men are dangerous, the most dangerous person in society, and we're keeping the black man down, all this stuff that comes from these alt-right groups, right? But they're all like minorities, aren't they? How many minorities are in these groups? So is this not just, you're right, all Fed groups trying to, I don't know. I don't care. I'm gonna go milk a goat and call it a day,
Oh, well, we could talk about somebody else who's possibly going to jail. Donald Trump may have violated copyright law by selling mugshot merchandise. So if they can't get him on the charge about conspiracy against elections, then they're gonna get him because he violated copyright law. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious.
This shit has become laughable. Like the extents to which they'll go, what was really funny was people were showing like the image that Trump used was altered, so it wasn't
remove the watermark.
Yeah, they removed the watermark, and there was some other so it wasn't a straight just like copy for copy post or reuse.
I think he sharpened some of the lines and stuff like that too. He kind of made it look a little bit cleaner.
Yeah,
is that the real image? If you keep scrolling down,
this is the real. Yeah, this is the real one.
That's the real.
Then where's the merch one? We'll see. These are kind of.
I want to know how they let him scowl like that. I mean, every mugshot I've seen, I feel like it's like you have to stare straight, stand up straight, like head up. They let him get away with like a scowl.
No, I feel like that's kind of common. You see a lot of people. Yeah, like let me just search.
I guess I haven't checked my blotter often enough, I guess.
Well, the mugshot was for publicity. Like it was supposed to be the thing that the left used as like, haha, we got him, and then it ended up being the thing that Trump and the right used as, haha, look at how he's so defiant of them, and like it got twisted back on him. But it was the whole point. They didn't care about how he looked. They just needed to get the picture. Right. That way they could be like, look, we got him. Here's his mugshot. Because they were so pissed off after he turned himself in New York, and they didn't take like they didn't take his mugshot because he wasn't staying. Like for this, he walked in, he took the mugshot, he paid and then he walked out, and that's
Yeah.
So they didn't even do a mugshot when he turned himself in New York because there wasn't a point, and they were so pissed off because they needed that mugshot. They needed that we got him
moment.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got robbed of that. So they had to have that mugshot. Like this is what they hung. Like there are people who had their whole life hanging on this. Like if we never got a Donald Trump mugshot, they probably would have killed themselves.
Now, I will say I was reading an article. I think it was an article. I don't think it was a video of people down at the Fulton County jail there, or wherever he was getting his mugshot, like lined up outside to see Donald Trump's walk of shame here, kind of thing. It was so like half of them I don't believe, like, oh, I'm a farmer from like, South Georgia, like gotta see Trump go away. Like, no, you really, probably not. Yeah, but how many of those people are plants? But at the same time, like, there are people that are genuinely there to see Trump get his mugshot because it gives them some sort of like solace in life, like that. How deranged are we as a society that this is like where we are?
I like SCG's comment. It's like if he actually gets in there, I have the best roommate. He's the best. He totally didn't do it. We're gonna get him free. We're gonna free my room.
I wonder how many of the paid protesters are actually Trump supporters. Like they just go to the protests to collect their paycheck. But I mean, at the end of the day, they are actually the working class. So more likely than not, they vote Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about the So what about the like? I wonder like so the more interesting thing to me is there. We know that there were a lot of like malicious actors on January 6th, and I don't think we've seen any of them get locked up. Unlike a lot of.
Why would you?
So that to me is more telling than like the Enrique. That's why like calling me Fed apologist. That's what's interesting to me though is that there's a lot of these obvious malicious actors who are actually trying to destroy stuff at January 6th, and they were having to be told no, don't do that. We're just taking a tour through the Capitol or whatever, and they were the ones that got off scot-free basically. So, there's no reports of them being booked. So, I feel like there's so much ambiguity around January 6th that you can just kind of say, well, this person is involved. Like there was literally one that like something from like Arkansas. They came down to get some guy out of Arkansas like the other day, and I was like, dude, like what is with this? Like why are they pulling all these random Joes who may or may not have done anything?
Well, and they're ramping all of this up now as debate season is starting, and you're starting to see the build up to the 2024 election. They're starting to do all of this stuff and really ramp this stuff up so that it puts it in the forefront of people's minds. Like we still have all these insurrectionists. We still had this attempted coup. We still had all of this bullshit narrative that they're. Yeah, I mean it's fucking insane, and none of it is like honest in any way. But they have to push this story and this narrative. And what's really funny about it is the harder they push it, and the more they push it, it feels like the more it's not hitting with a lot of the people that in January, February, March, 2021 it hit with. They have beat this horse.
I feel like it's
such a bloody pulp
like
that now people don't give a shit anymore.
It's like I think it's kind of like COVID. In the beginning, it's like, oh my God. And then as details trickle out, as things filter through, it's kind of like, wait a minute. Like, this isn't everything you hyped it up to be. This is, maybe something a little scary, a little, but it's not what you did. This is not a coup. No one was trying to, keep Trump in there with a crown on his head and a, gas chamber ready for a dissenter. Like, it just wasn't what it was.
Well, and
do you think people like
COVID, oh, go ahead.
Oh boy, here we go.
No.
Like
no.
But I got a lag. Like, do you think people on the left like actually still kind of support this stuff, or do you think they're actually realizing they're seeing like that there were people that were saying like don't do this, that there was these few that kind of got things going that haven't been charged, that haven't been do you think people realize that, like, outside of like our circles?
No,
I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know that they realize it, but I do think that they've just kind of gotten burnt out on it. So whether they know what was going on and they see the truth of it, or they're just like hitting a wall and disconnecting from it, I don't think it matters. Like, it's the same end result either way, because let's say they did become J6 truthers and they're like, oh my gosh, like there were all these fed plants and blah, 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 blah. What does that accomplish any more than them just hitting the wall and being like, this is stupid, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, it's going to be the same result.
Well, to a different degree, I think, whereas one side it's just kind of like, okay guys, enough. The other side's kind of like it's more
but they're not going to
rebellious
in
realize,
nature, the ones who realize what's going on aren't going to go change the minds of the ones who are still heels dug in that this was a failed coup attempt. So like, it doesn't.
And I feel like that there's so many of the people who are in that sort of like normie space, like we're talking about, like where they don't see all that kind of stuff. If they don't see it, they can't deny that there wasn't a coup, I guess. Like, so they're not going to go look for it. And so that's and even if you show it to them, some of them still won't believe it, because they're just like, well, you could be making it up. This could be disinformation. This could be lies. So it's very much like when if you've watched stuff about Yuri Bezmenov, like what he says, like when you present them with like truthful, factual evidence, you can show them pictures and video of the actual January 6th event, and then they will probably still sit there and at least have doubt. At minimum, they'll still have doubt of like, you could be lying to me. And that's the problem with a lot of this, is like, you can show them truthful video evidence, factual information, and they'll still at minimum they'll still doubt you, and at worst they'll think you're just lying and trying to manipulate them. And that's where I think a lot of the problem lies. It's just like, that's the kind of people you're dealing with.
Even though all the deep fake videos and stuff, I think, cast doubt even on that, and is that on purpose? Are we seeing more of these videos like half-assed so you can tell that these things are real, to cast doubt on even when you see truth, you second guess it. But what were you saying about COVID, Justin?
That kind of ties into the COVID thing too. But like, you have all of this information, you have all of these reports. The CDC has said the stuff about the masks and everything else. You still have people that, even when presented with all of that, they're still doubtful of it. What do y'all think about the?
I literally saw someone.
What do y'all think about the latest COVID? What do y'all think about the latest COVID push, where you had the rumors of the TSA mandating masks and all this other stuff, and then you saw the pilot strikes, like standing outside of O'Hare and the one LAX, like pilots and flight attendants standing outside, like we are holding signs saying we are prepared to go on strike if they do this again. Like, there was all this rumor of like trying to bring back COVID all over again, and then that disappeared really quick. Like, they talked about all of it, and people got pissed off immediately. It was like the population summarily said, "Fuck you, we're not doing this again," and then it just went away. Like, all of it, like nobody's talking about this new highly contagious COVID variant anymore. The one that like literally everyone in my wife's office had, and nobody missed a single day of work because it's the new summer cold. Like, all of that new COVID talk went away really quick after they started. The rumors came out, that they were going to start pushing this stuff again, and then it went away because people got pissed off really, really quick.
Now,
It didn't.
I will say
because they Jill they just like announced that Joe Biden had COVID, so I feel like that may have been an indicator that they're still wanting to test the waters with that. I don't think they've completely dismissed it. I think they just put it away for a little bit.
Where my wife works, masks are back. I don't know if it's flu season stuff or what, but it's, they have to wear them again. So I do think you're going to see some of it. It might not be as much, but and the the new vaccine, right? Like there's a new vaccine there, and I think they're going to be pushing that one. I have a friend who's a couple of weeks ago they went up to like Atlanta, to Emory, for a doctor's appointment for her, and I think she is her rheumatologist. Anyway, but they were pushing the new vaccine because it doesn't target the spikes; it actually targets the thing. And so, that's the new marketing campaign that they're going to roll out with it, right? Is that this isn't a spike protein thing. We're going after the real thing. I think you're going to start to see some push on that. I would think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they'll let it die, but I don't think so. I feel like they got a good one. You're gonna hold on to it for a bit.
The only, I don't know. It feels like at this point, the only people who are going to go with it are the people who were going to go with it anyway. Like there were enough people that have regrets and second thoughts, and people who just said no to begin with, or who, as soon as it, who went and got the initial, first 2 doses or whatever, and then when it became a third, a fourth, a fifth, they saw the game. They saw the game for what it was, and they checked out. And I think we've talked about Moderna and Pfizer both have seen significant stock drops over the last year and a half since after the mandate fell apart, and then they just kept rolling out more boosters and more boosters. And every time a new booster came out, there was less compliance. There was less uptake on it. Like they've seen from their spiked record profits in 2021, they have come back down to or below the levels that they were at pre-2020. And especially Moderna was kind of in a bad way to a large extent pre-COVID. So they need this new vaccine to be a thing more than people want a new vaccine.
Looks like Trey's got COVID over there. Just keeps sneezing and coughing.
I actually probably did.
Looking a little pale. Maybe that's natural color, but
you know how you know how you
are weird.
You know how you stay COVID free? Just don't get tested.
Have kids. Oh yeah.
I've never taken one. Never taken one. I never will. I don't think.
I took one, and the one time that I took it, I was negative. So it was just I forget it was negative, but I'm pretty sure that I had it. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I actually did have it at that time, but the test just sucks, and it didn't get it.
I got tested twice. Once because my wife had tested positive, and they wouldn't let me come back to work unless I had a negative test. I could have stayed home, but I wasn't going to get paid because I needed a positive test and they would pay me to stay home, or I needed a negative test and I could go back to work, and I wanted to go to work. And so I got my negative test and I was allowed to go back to work. And then the second time I knew I had it and I was fine. I probably could have gone to work, but I really didn't want to go to work. I had other stuff I wanted to do around the house that week. So I went and got tested. That way I could get the week off. Isn't it crazy that the people that utilized testing positive to get time off, get paid time off work kind of, that's literally what when I had it, I didn't feel bad enough that I needed to miss work, but I had a lot of stuff around the house that I needed to do And it's like, well, I can get a paid week off for this and stay home and do all the things that I want to do, or I can tough it out and go to work. It's like, fuck this. I'm gonna go get a test and stay home. I don't feel bad about it.
Most of the people I know that have been getting COVID this new round have been they'll get tested to get sick to stay out of work. That's about it.
Around here, nobody even it's just treated as a regular sick day. You don't get paid time off for having COVID anymore. If you've got COVID, you have to either burn sick time or PTO time or just be unpaid days. No, they just treat it like the cold.
Yeah, that's why I'm not bothered to go. Yeah, if it was like that, if it was like, hey, you get a week paid off, I mean, then yeah, it would be.
People were so butthurt after they dropped to if you have a positive COVID test, you get a week off or you get a week off paid, and can get up to 2 weeks off without without it counting against you. Man, as soon as that dropped, you have people calling in for every day. Hey, I've got a positive test. How long can I be off? As long as you have points and are.
I wonder how much that incentive was the reason that we had so many positive cases.
People who wouldn't have gotten tested if it weren't for the fact that they could get paid time off, or the fact that they had to get tested so that they could go back to work for whatever reason. I'm sure that was a huge driving factor in the number of tests that were being administered, was just how people were being forced to do it, even when it was no reason to do it.
Yep. Don't get a vaccine. You got to get tested every week for work. How many tests does that account for over the course of? Right. Anyway, COVID's stupid. People are stupid. I didn't say the R word. I know what time it is.
There might have been a different disease on this plane. Delta flight forced into emergency landing by passenger diarrhea. This is a biohazard. Let's see.
Oh my gosh!
Hazard issue. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they wanted to come back to Atlanta. Had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they wanted to come back to all the way through the airplane.
Oh, that's just a repeating thing. There was a video of it. Let's see.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to see the video though. It's disgusting.
Nope. You just keep that video to yourself.
Why?
I didn't want to see it either. So, oh yeah.
Do we know where the plane was headed? He said go back to Atlanta. So where was it going? How long of a flight was it? Because I feel like once you're already up, you're not gonna. Not gaining anything by turning around and going back. You still have to deal with it. You might as well just get to where you're going and sit in the toilet.
Turn around over Virginia and headed back to Atlanta. Flight from Atlanta, Georgia to Barcelona, Spain. So it was going all the way to Spain. That's why they. Yeah.
See, that makes sense. That was.
That would be okay. Yeah. Yeah.
The question is okay,
imagine
maybe
being on that plane.
How did you not how did they not? Maybe there was someone in the bathroom already, and so they couldn't hold it, and so they.
It said he had. They said he had it, or that the passenger had diarrhea all the way through the plane, so it must have hit very abruptly, and they're doing the truffle shuffle trying to make it to the bathroom and just get some anal leakage through the whole way.
Now, how long does it take to disinfect a plane? And did the other passengers get compensated for anything? Think about that.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. I'd be super pissed about that, man. Oof.
Yeah, they have to at least probably pay for your flight. You're not just reimburse you for that flight, but pay for the flight probably to when you're actually going to they're going to Spain, probably cover they probably didn't have to pay for that flight, and I would hope anyway. Like, hey, look, we know this.
I wonder why they got diarrhea. Yeah. They got like listeria, or do they just eat like a bad cheeseburger in the McDonald's?
They ate Taco Bell before boarding the flight, and all of a sudden,
idiot.
I mean, it's somebody from Atlanta, so they probably got a pretty healthy diet of ribs and fried chicken. Would be my guess. A lot of collard greens. All those things that get the bowels going.
That's gross. Yeah.
And I get it. Like,
he probably had to make that call before you get on the plane, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Do I keep going?
Like, if you're going to, if you're flying from Atlanta to New York or from Atlanta to Chicago or something like that, and you've got that, that
I have
bubble
3 hours in
and you're
me.
like,
can I do this?
Oh, should I do this?
How strong is my sphincter?
Maybe. But if you're going to Spain, like, this might be a once in a lifetime trip. It's like, all right, I'm just going to suck it up and pull through this. Like, that bathroom might be a wreck before we make it to Spain, but I am not missing my flight.
No, dude, you're
too late to
reschedule.
That.
That's what is that, like a 12-hour flight? You gotta know, man. Getting down, I cannot. Like 2-3 hours, I can handle. I can do this. Like 12 hours, that's like. I mean,
but again, like how often are you flying to Spain? Like, how much are they going to charge to change your ticket over to a later time so that you've got time to there's a lot of things that could go into this.
Little poop stains on it. I think they'd just turn it back to you and say, "Here you go. Thank you, sir. Have another flight. Give you another ticket."
I don't know. A lot of factors involved in that. What else we got? We got our signature story that we haven't really. I mean, we kind of talked about it very, 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 very briefly at the beginning with the Dick riding Obama intro. But tonight's the night.
Yeah.
Play the Joan Rivers clip.
Oh, the Joan Rivers. Yeah.
What?
Clyde, have you never seen the Joan Rivers clip?
Mr. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Yeah.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
She's
We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Like what's really funny is you might think that she thought he was saying something about, we have a black president, and she said, because when she just initially says, we already had it with Obama, and then he's like, wait, what? And she goes, yeah, Michelle's a tranny. It's like, oh, she did not mishear him. She's
Oh my word.
Didn't she literally die that afternoon? Like, she went in to have some sort of a routine procedure done and just didn't come out of it.
I feel like it was like within a month or so.
If it wasn't that day, it was within a week. Like, it was not long after that. She had like a doctor's appointment or something for just some routine little thing.
And what wasn't hers the one where it kind of looked like she got up after that or whatever?
No, that was Anne Hesh. Whenever she had the car wreck. And
different one.
Tonight, Tucker Carlson live on X. We'll get the lowdown and dirty on President Obama boinking some dude.
Town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party.
Yeah, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. I had given Barack $250.
Okay, first things, this guy, I don't know, a little questionable. He doesn't look like Barack's type.
Somebody.
he doesn't look like Barack's type, you know.
$50.
He's got bat ears.
I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort, and next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go.
Even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him smoke crack twice, you had no idea who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
Let me just ask the obvious question. What was Obama like on crack? Is it your sense that that's who Obama is, just transactional, or that he's bisexual, or like what is this?
It definitely wasn't Barack's first time, and I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't as long.
The guy's running for president, and credible information comes out that he's smoking crack and having sex with dudes. That seems like a story.
Well, it would be a story if the media really cared.
First off, I don't really care. Secondly, it seems kind of, I don't know, it seems kind of tabloidy and below Tucker as far as the story goes.
Yeah,
but
that's why I'm kind of surprised.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's funny. Like, this is it's a humorous thing, but like I feel like it doesn't do Tucker justice, because like the good stuff that he's been doing is like the interviews with people that they say he shouldn't have interviews with and kind of stuff like that. But this is just kind of like a little bit of a weird thing. Not that I don't want to know if this was actually true, but like this dude and his story, and I mean it does, like you said, it seems very tabloidy. Like, oh yeah, and he said he's been all cracked. So like how much? I don't really always trust crackheads. Okay?
Did you see all his teeth?
Yeah, he's probably
missing half a row. Yeah.
Hey, Sonny. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old dude in Family Guy. He looks like him with the teeth messed up and everything.
Yeah. He probably would lure little kids back into his van too. Wasn't he always trying to get Chris in his van?
Yeah.
That's exactly who he is.
Trying to get him to work in his house and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Oh man, that's interesting.
He had him as his pool boy one time, I think, or something like that.
That's I wonder why Tucker had him on.
I don't know. I mean, it's clearly like he was wanting to like talk about this, but like I said, I don't know how much is this like. Okay, if he is like bi or gay, like what is it? What does it actually matter in the? I guess, I mean, is it a funny story? Maybe, like, sure, maybe, but like, I what is it? What does that do? Like, what does that change about anything? Oh well.
I don't know. That's
right,
what
unless
because
I already
imagine
can confirm that Michelle has a penis, then all the rest of it is just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If
it wasn't rubbing Michelle's thigh; it was Obama's thigh. So. I don't know.
To me, it just sounds like House of Cards, and that's how I imagined a lot of these people acting already anyway. So, I mean,
well, that was the thing of watching House of Cards. Is like, man, like, that this is how a lot of this stuff goes down, and then you want to believe that there's a lot of it that's also just played up for the show and for dramatic purposes, but then at the same time you're like, yeah, but is it really being played up, or like, are we actually hitting the nail right on the head? But it's so unbelievable that you're like, yeah, there's no way this is actually what happened. Like there are some things that you can just come right out and tell people the truth, because the truth is so crazy they wouldn't believe that it was true. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's why tabloids are the way that they are. Even there's some aspects of the tabloids. It's like the Alex Jones effect. Like so much of his stuff like that he says, sometimes people will dismiss it because it sounds like it could be true, but then they have like doubts. But and I feel like that's where a lot of it is like this is so tabloidy that there's a little bit of doubt of like, okay, maybe this dude's just lying for clout. I mean, and that happens with a lot, but these kind of things, especially like if he doesn't have definitive proof, like SGG says, you're just talking to a crackhead, and what is like, what does that do for you? Like, does that prove that Tucker's any more of an investigative journalist than he was before? Not really.
Well, and it gives off kind of the same vibes as what's her face that sued Trump for raping her in New York, and then like they found him there. They said that he had to pay, but they didn't. There was no evidence that he raped her or anything, but they still made him pay her. Like, what? Wait, what? What's her Jean something or other? I can't remember.
Simmons?
No. You talking about the one with the tongue or the one that does the exercise videos?
Which one would have let Trump have his way with him? And one probably wouldn't, so, go figure. Yeah, I remember when the tablet, like, I guess they were always around, but, like, whatever happened to the Weekly World News? Like Bat Boy and, like, all that stuff. Like, that was the good stuff. That was the stuff that, like, made sense.
But see, that's when, like, when those kind of things, they're tabloids. Like, that those are, like, fake stories. But that's why they're funny. But, like, this stuff is, like, it could be real, but you don't have any proof. That's where I think the
dude,
problem
anything
is.
Could be real. That's where we are in, like, culture and society. Anything could be real.
It's why you have to check, like, every single account on Twitter to see if it's a parody account or if it's Dennis or if it's real, because, like, reality has gotten so close to parody, that it's hard to keep up. Sean and I watched Idiocracy yesterday. I was like, we're not that far out from people being this stupid. And
oh man, I'm a black woman, right? You gotta believe it. Like, reality has gotten retarded. I don't know if I'm early, but I'll throw it out there just in case. I know Trey has a retarded job he has to go to early, so I don't know.
He's trying to give you an out, Trey, and you're not taking
everything, everywhere, all the time is
Trey
in the modern day is absolutely retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.